What's going on, everyone? So, a big problem with these requels, legacy sequels, just, direct sequels, whatever, right? Is balancing the OG characters and having the legacy characters be an integral part in the films. And we have seen most of these requels and sequels and stuff not do a too great of a job of having the characters that are familiar, that we know and love, that are supposed to tie into the film somehow, usually are kind of just faded in the background, right? Exorcist the Believer. I mean, even Halloween Ends kind of took a sharp turn, right? Like, you have things like, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. I mean, even Scream. They did a really good job with Dewey, in my opinion. Like, I thought, I didn't like the story with Dewey, right? It just, if you are familiar with him and Gail and their relationship, they kind of reversed it, which just didn't make sense, but I digress, right? Like, I thought they did a good job with Dewey kind of being the heart of the film, heart of the franchise. I thought he had some good screen time and whatnot. But you look at like Sydney in Scream 5. She was kind of just in that movie just to say you had Sydney in Scream 5. She wasn't in the movie a ton. She didn't really serve any purpose. She didn't drive the plot or story in any significant way. Like, the only reason she came back was because Dewey died, and then it was like everything that she did, somebody else could have done, right? She puts the tracker on, and then she looks at Gail, and she goes, this is your thing. I learned it from you, type thing. And it's like, okay, so Gail could have just done it. And then, when they go, and yeah, it was cool to hear on board and shooting through the doors, but like something like I could see a cop do it, right? Like, you could add a cop character. You could add Judy do it. Like, had Judy survive till the end of the movie, right? Like, and then even at the end where she, plays hero, right? Guess what? Mindy, we knew was alive. So it's like, okay, well, Mindy could have been that. Scream 6, Gail Weathers, served 0 point. Like, even worse than Sydney. The only thing she did in that entire movie turned out that it was like redundant, right? Which was finding the shrine room, and then the killer says that they were going to reveal it. So like, Gail didn't reveal it for a purpose. Like, it didn't spoil any plans or plot or anything like that, right? So the concern is finding that balance, because you're trying to reintroduce this franchise into a new audience, right? You're trying to have something where, Julie and Ray are going to be integrated to a degree, which it appears based on the plot and synopsis that new group does the same thing that Julie, Ray, and Buffy and all them do, right? And they end up going and enlisting Ray and Julie to get the help, right? I'm not a big fan of like just carbon copying that, right? They already did it with the series, but I digress, right? The issue is, can you find that balance? Because again, like, people like myself that are familiar with the franchise and love the franchise and whatnot, we're going there with a certain level of expectation of what the legacy characters are going to be, right? And there's always, like, Jennifer Love Hewitt, because a lot of people, I've seen talk about like, oh, well, Jennifer Love Hewitt has said like she's not going to be in this movie unless she has a significant role and is just not just a cameo or whatnot. But they all say that, right? And then ultimately they're in the movie for like 3 minutes, and it's not a cameo, but it's just like 3 quick like scenes, and they serve no point. They don't drive the plot. They don't do anything. Right? I'm hoping that that's not the case here, right? I'm hoping that they actually have a real purpose and reason for why they're there, and they're able to kind of get the shine that they deserve for this, which again, it makes things difficult because you're trying to, like I mentioned earlier, introduce the franchise to a new audience. On top of that, you're trying to introduce new characters that you want to grow, develop, and kind of put and attract an audience to even potentially spawn new sequels and whatnot, right? So you have this juggling act. You have this balance that you're trying to find, and it's just a very fine line. And more often than not, they kind of botch it, right? More often than not, it kind of gets disappointing. And so, you kind of almost get the too many cooks in the kitchen type thing, to where everything's just kind of stumbling over itself, or character development lacks, or like I said, the legacy characters are in the film for no real reason, right? Like, if you could do with Julie and Ray what Scream 5 was able to do with Dewey, beautiful. Chef kiss, right? Where, they're kind of like, yes, you have the new characters, you're developing the new character, telling the story, but they had Dewey interwoven in that, got his shine, got his moment, and then, what happened, but you didn't get, 2 hours of him, but you got like just enough. The way that they paced it, I felt like they did a good job of making you feel like he was in the movie more than he really was. Like he was a bigger part of it than he really was. And so if they could do something like that, where, you're going to have the new characters and they're going to go and you're going to tell your story and you're going to have your build up. And then Julie and Ray are probably going to come in somewhere around the midway point or something like that. They're probably going to, in the end, only get 10 to 12 minutes of screen time. But hopefully, again, it's purposeful. It's impactful. It's not just them there just to have them there, right? Like, I want to see them be a big part. But there's also concerns in the regards of Freddie Prinze Jr. His film time was not very long. Now, again, if he's only going to be in the movie even like 15 minutes, right? You don't need months to film that and get that done. You're talking a couple days to kind of get that worked out. So that could be what it is. But I've seen a lot of talk. I've seen a lot of debate on Julie and Ray and kind of their role and how much they're going to be in this film or not. And, is it going to be enough? Is it not going to be enough? Like, how are they going to handle the legacy characters? Are we going to end up finishing the film and be like, well, that was a letdown, right? Like, that was disappointing. Like, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to approach this, but I'm hopeful that, given the words that we've seen Freddie and, Jennifer talk about this film and their kind of part and role and play, and, you look at, again, like an example like Dewey in Scream 5, my hope is that they kind of are able to mesh that together in a way that is good enough and balanced for all, like, newer generations and generations like myself that grew up on the franchise. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Feel what your thoughts? Agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot as we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.